Hi guys, Oxy the Virgo here with my wonderful husband next to me today. And welcome to my channel. Today we would like to share with you guys the 3 tips for having a very, or for being, more like for being in a very happy interracial, because as you could see there's milk and coffee over here, interracial relationships. So let's get started. Okay, so first tip that we would like to share with you guys is respecting each other's culture and traditions. And what do you have to say about that?
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a big one.
You respect mine?
Yeah, I think I respect your culture. Yeah, I think that's a big one. Watch the baby. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I think that's a big thing that Oksana is saying here. Respecting each other's culture and beliefs is quite important because I think if you can imagine when you get into a relationship, with somebody from a different race, most likely from a different culture. So there's going to be differences. There's going to be a lot of
Definitely.
things that the way you're brought up and the way your food, even the way you greet in some cultures is different. Some of the habits that you have, what you wear, it's going to be different. So that's something that you definitely have to be aware of. And I think it's important for you to come in with an open mind
Absolutely.
and definitely have the mentality of, I have to respect this, just so you can have a good relationship with your significant other and with your in-laws as well.
Oh yes, because once you marry in the family, right? Or once you're a part of the family, I guess, while you're dating each other, that's like you gotta make sure that you respect that too, right? All
Yeah,
the
for
all
sure.
the traditions and what I would say, I think it's definitely important to remember that you fall in love with the person the way that person is, right? So I think you shouldn't just try to fix and change the person up just
Of
because
course.
you feel like like that's not how we do it here in a
Yeah.
certain country, right? Because like you came with your background, or like the person came with his or her background, right? Like with the cultures and traditions. So you got to remember that at the end of the day that's the person you fell in love with,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
with all the craziness and nonsense and whatever else it might be, right? It's, yeah, I think you just have to respect that and like you know
No, for sure, and I think that's a good. I think that's an important tip, not just for interracial relationships. I think
absolutely.
for everybody
And
as a whole. I think we tend to fall in love with someone, but then over time we want to change them, and we realize that we forget that that's the person we fall in love with is the
right.
person that we're trying to change, and then when you change them, maybe changing them to somebody that you don't like anymore.
No,
So yeah,
absolutely.
definitely something to be aware of. But yeah, definitely, yeah, great tip. That's a really good tip.
So that worked for us, guys.
Yes, still working.
Still working.
Exactly.
Too many more to come. All right, number 2. You gotta find common grounds in your present environment.
Ooh, yeah. That's a big one. Yeah. That's huge. Yeah.
So, which means that if basically the two of you are from two different continents, like milk and coffee over here,
Yep.
milk over here is from Asia,
Milk. Okay, milk.
Central Central Asia, and coffee over here, chocolate,
Yes.
is from Africa.
Dark chocolate.
So dark chocolate. You're
The
not a very
best.
dark chocolate.
The best.
You're like the milk chocolate.
Chocolate. Dark chocolate's the best.
That's a subject
Anyways.
for different day, for another day. Um, yeah, we basically found common grounds, regardless the fact that we came from completely two different parts of the world. We were raised differently. I mean, everything was so different, right? But there's something that we found that, I don't know, that gets us going every day, right? That gets us just like,
Well, we found common grounds in our present environment. We
yeah,
found common grounds in the culture that we're submersed in now, which is the Canadian culture, right? So I guess the point of this is if you're gonna marry somebody from a different culture, and you live in this present environment now. You want to try to adapt to this environment as much as possible, because
Right.
that's the environment where you both are in now. So you
Exactly.
can blend in together into that environment more, right? It's kind of like you're mixing, coffee and milk, and you get that cream color. So you kind of want to be in that cream area as much as possible. You don't want to be too much coffee. You don't want to be too much milk, right? So you want to be
Exactly.
in the middle. So I think that's one
Absolutely.
thing that makes our relationship work great, because we come from different countries and different continents altogether and different cultures. But I am not too attached to my culture as I was anymore, and she's not too attached to her culture she was anymore.
Exactly.
We still have our roots. We still speak the languages. We talk to our parents. We have family members. But for example, we don't eat all Russian food. We don't eat all Angolan food. We eat a lot
Exactly.
of a mix of Canadian food, Russian and
Yeah.
Angolan. So we're more like, even when it comes to speaking the language at home, English is our first language at home. So I feel like that helps us be in that level playing field in
Yeah.
a way, where you came from somewhere and I came from somewhere, and we meet in the middle, right?
Exactly.
And that's the common ground.
Yeah. And interesting you mentioned food is because actually ever since we started dating, it became more of a hybrid version, I would say. It's like a mix between, like, I wouldn't say Russian food. It was like, I guess the food, it's not Kazakh food either, so it's kind of like a mix of where I come from, right? And then there's Angolan food. So then I managed to mix all of that, and I would take seasoning from one and like something else from another, and now it's just like a hybrid dishes that I make. So you can't really say that it's just Angolan food or just
Fusion.
like exactly. That's like, I don't know, Asian fusion, Afro-Asian fusion or something like that.
Afro-Asian.
Afro-Asian
There you
fusion,
go. Yeah.
there you go. That's
Yeah.
just like, it's so interesting that over the years you just adapt that, because we're in different country now, right? And it just
Yeah.
here it makes sense to do that, like
Yeah.
that.
And trust me, Christmas parties are fun.
God,
Ooh,
yes.
there's so much food, all kinds of different stuff. Just mix it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a really good tip. Yeah, very
Yeah,
good.
so that was tip number 2, guys. Tip number 3, let me just pull up my cheat sheet here. So do not bring your past experiences into your current relationship.
Ooh, fire.
And I would think that tip actually applicable not only to interracial relationship, but probably towards every single relationship.
Yes. But it is definitely, but it's definitely very, very important in an interracial
Yeah.
relationship. For sure. Especially if you've dated people from
Your own
the-
thing
exactly,
probably,
right?
Yeah.
So if you dated people from different culture before than what your current spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend is,
Yeah,
your,
that's
your
true.
current partner, I think is definitely more important for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, do not compare, because I personally know a lot of people that like a lot of girls, a lot of friends that I have that, like to, if they had bad experience, they like to compare, like if their current boyfriend does something, then it's like, oh, you're just like my ex because you do A, B, C, and D, but don't do that. First of all, it's hurtful to another person because
Sure.
that current person has absolutely nothing to do with the baggage you might be holding, like regarding your previous relationship. So you don't want that. You don't want to hurt the person you're with right now, like it's unnecessary. And then it's like the person might be doing something that doesn't know about your previous experience,
Yeah,
just because a person does it doesn't mean like, oh, you're just like my ex and
Yeah, for
every
sure.
man is like my ex type of thing, like, you know what I mean? It's not the case. One person is one person that ended, cut it off, move to another one,
Yeah.
and then like kind of leave it at the like at the past time, don't bring that with you.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I think majority of people that go into new relationships or they've just gone through a breakup.
Yeah.
I think they struggle with this baggage that they bring from a previous relationship, and I mean, from experience, I have to say that it's extremely important for you to literally put the past behind you. And I know people are afraid of getting their hearts broken but that's what it takes for you to risk another relationship. If you're afraid of getting your heart broken, you're not ready for another relationship.
Definitely.
So you have to literally, because it takes full commitment. It takes 100%. You got to give yourself 100%. You got to trust 100%. You know, there's no such thing as, well, let me get to know you first, then I'll trust you. Well, you'll never get to know somebody if you don't trust them.
Absolutely. No,
right?
absolutely.
So at the end of the day, you really have to give yourself, you have to forget, I mean, like, you've been hurt. Yeah, I guess, like, we've all been hurt. You know, we've all been heartbroken, but you have to move on. And moving on means a clean slate, clean sheet of paper, and you start again. You forget about what your ex did to you, just like you said, and you start everything again.
Right.
And I think in that point is even more important when it comes to you know, cultures, you know, which is the subject we're kind of discussing here. That you know, I mean, if you've been with somebody from same culture as you, for example, and then you get into an interracial relationship, and I guess it's fairly easy for you to assume certain things are the same, or you expect the same response.
Right.
Like if your ex was doing something with you, or you said something to your ex and your ex reacted a certain way, it's fair to assume that you come into a new relationship with a person from a different culture, and you kind of anticipate the same thing, and it shouldn't be. I really think it's important for you to, like, erase the slate and have a new one and just start fresh, because it's different. Like, I mean the things that I've discovered with you that I haven't you know, like, I haven't experienced with, you know, with anybody else, and your reaction to things are different. The way you communicate is different. So I mean, it would have been a huge disaster if I were to bring my baggage with me and then expect that if I say something to you, you have the same reaction as my ex or like one of my exes, right? So yeah, definitely, it's very important to, like I said, clean slate and just start
past
new.
is past, guys. That's it. Leave it there in the past. Move on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's a huge point for sure.
Yeah, and have happy, healthy relationship, right?
Yes, happy, healthy interracial
relationship.
Yeah.
Milk and coffee, chocolate over here. You know?
Coffee, chocolate. I like it. Whatever titles.
I don't know. Whatever suits his color best, coffee or chocolate.
Whatever it is, you guys judge.
Exactly.
Say something in the comment.
Yeah.
Hey, keep it PG, please. Thank you. You know. So yeah, that's awesome. That's very
Thanks,
good.
guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, there'll be more videos like this coming.
Absolutely.
I promise you guys.
Absolutely.
They're
And
fun.
until next time, my friends. Bye.